get myself into. Even though I'm not gonna go into detail or anything, not recommending for younger audiences. No turning back now. And now it is time for the weirdest one on the list. Oh my god, this is gonna be such a weird video. To find out this weird shit about myself. Whoa. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are ready for a wild ride because we are going to be reading Monster and Alien Smut for the first time. I have never read anything like this, so I think I'm gonna be in for a treat. Good or bad, you're gonna be on the ride with me. I think it's gonna be a fun experience. I have 4 books here, 2 by the famous Katie Robert, who does a bunch of different monster smut stuff. And these are 100% cover buys for me. If you saw I think it was my 23 books to read in 2023, I saw these, I was all like, I love it, I have to read it, so I got it. And because I ended up getting these and I knew I was gonna do this vlog, I was like, you know what? Why don't we pick up the famous Ice Planet Barbarians, see how I feel about this. And then also, Jordaline ended up mentioning Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer. And this one is supposed to be, I think, a couple of short stories and then some snippets from the series or something like that. It's another cover buy for me. There's just something absolutely amazing about these ridiculous romance parody looking covers that I love. I love them so much. So even if this isn't my thing, I imagine I'm going to save these just for the covers. And then this one, I'm not sure. We'll see. I know a lot of people are surprised to enjoy this. I'm pretty open-minded, so I think it'll be a fun time. I am embarrassed, but no turning back now. Also, like my fit, dark academia queen. Let's get into the smut. Oh my god, this is gonna be such a weird video. Okay, so gonna start with Katie Roberts' The Demon's Bargain because I feel like this is the most tame one, humanoid one. Great place to start. I decided to read this for my morning self-care ritual reading portion. So typically I start off with some journaling, some tarot, a little bit of meditation and self-reflection, and then I read for a little while, which is super fitting because we have a witchy character who summons a demon so that she can get something back that she's lost. And I just got to the terms and it's like 7 years of service and I'm like, no. But there's a twist to how that is affected, kind of all like, yeah, it's 7 years in, you know, our world, but it's only gonna be like a couple of weeks or maybe a month in yours. And I'm all like, ooh, would that get me? But yeah, I'm interested so far, like the dynamics, like what we're getting to. So far, Katie Robert, right off the bat, is all like, hey, I'm gonna give you hints at some things that you can expect. There's content notes in the beginning that says, you know, some parts of this book may be triggering for readers. It tells you about tropes, tags, and content warnings, one of which is explicit sex. What did I get myself into? I'm definitely feeling a little weird. But no, this so far, a couple pages into it, probably gonna read a little bit more, but I wanted to let you know, give you an update, whatever. Time to get more into this. Nothing has even happened yet, but I'm loving it. This is gonna get so embarrassing. Oh no, what am I doing to myself? This is weird. It's really cute. I like the dynamic. They did mention the characters in this one, so part of me sort of wishes I was reading this first because I'm assuming this happens before this one, even though they're different series as far as I'm aware. Like they're a different series, and I don't think it matters what order you read them in, but this was mentioned. No agreement has been made yet. They're just back and forth, satisfying. We'll see. We will see. I'm very interested in seeing how this goes. I realized that because we are reading Monster Smut in today's vlog, even though I'm not going to go into detail or anything, I should probably put out like these are not for kids. So not recommending for younger audiences, which fortunately my demographics say don't get much of those anymore, but just in case. This is not for you. Especially when we get a content note just to let me know that this is gonna be some intense stuff. I don't know how all of them are. I'm assuming both of these are gonna be like that. I'm pretty sure this one's weird and also intense. And I actually have no clue because this one's so popular. Like, is this also raunchy? I don't know. This is new for me. Friggin' the Brown Sisters trilogy gets a little raunchy, but it's more romance than it is anything else. I don't think that's the case here. I'm pretty sure that's not the case here either. It might be for these. I don't know. This one is giving some build up so far, so it's not like we just jump into things. There is kind of, you know, back and forth flirty build up, which I really appreciate, but it's so short that like I cannot imagine that we're gonna get a ton of like character development in this novella, but we'll see. We will see. This one I know is just snips of stuff, right? Like it's 2 short stories and then like sexy scenes from other bits in this series. I'm not particularly interested in continuing with the series. This one I think is the one that's going to be the weirdest for me. This is gonna be a trip and I'm all aboard. We're in for it. If you're ready for a ride, join me, because already we're getting there. Okay, here basically reading along, I'm going to sit up here and just read a couple of just random passages. They shouldn't be spoilery in any way. I'm gonna modify some of them to cut out anything that might be vaguely spoilery, but I'm just enjoying this so much that I want you to experience this with me. So insert those clips now. I refuse to blush with pleasure at the compliment. Refuse. A slightly taller version of a blonde who was very famous back in the day for running down the beach in slow motion. Isn't that like Fabio or something? I only thought about poisoning her new girlfriend once or half a dozen times. It's not like I did it. Oh, that's so cute. Literally, nothing has happened yet, and I am enjoying the shit out of this. I love it. I love it so much. Just like the characters, the banter, all of these little like quips that are thrown in. Katie Robert, wow. I'm a fan. Okay, let's see. Let's see though. Like it's pretty early on still. We haven't gotten to the freaky deaky stuff. I have to call this out. So basically the demon, we get both perspectives here. The demon has, I guess, gargoyle in him, and because of that he can sense like people and magic and things in colors. And so colors mean different things, which seems very true with emotion. So we're getting emotions in terms of colors and like him looking at the world and seeing. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy this. I'm loving this so much, like so much. I love hearing his perspective. I love the color aspects. I love the banter between the characters. I'm interested in kind of figuring out what's going on. I like that it's short because like I feel like things are gonna be like pretty quick. I love the flirting. I love it. I love everything about it. Again, we haven't gotten to anything yet, but I'm here for it. This is all still kind of like insta feels, insta attraction, but you know, that's what I signed up for, a novella smut book. So I ain't mad. And I love that there's a build up that like we're 29 pages in and we're not even close to them banging. We're just getting that tension, that desire. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I have continued with the Demon's Bargain. I have gotten to the sexy times, but that's not the main thing that I actually want to talk to you about. But first I will say they are good. There's a nice level of consent and discussing your interests and your desires, but done in a really attractive, sexy way, which I think kudos, more books should do that and encourage people to do that because it's good in relationships. You don't just magically know what the other person wants. Anyway, I mean, I don't think it's like extreme or anything, but anyway. But the funny part is I'm reading this and all I can think is I wish this was longer. Like, I feel like their dynamic would be really nice in a long, drawn out, slow burn sort of situation. You know, like two characters that are really interested in each other, obviously, but are kind of fighting that and then having to work together for some reason or another. I think that could be really great with these characters specifically. Okay, hello. It is nighttime and I'm really trying to finish this tonight. So I have just put on my sleepy clothes and then I got my bonnet on and I'm about to take my makeup off, but I just wanted to give you an update. I haven't really read much since our last update, but I do want to see if I can get through this tonight. Probably won't be able to now that I think about it. I'm only halfway. So I'm probably gonna get a couple pages into this and then pass out. So I guess I'll give you an update in the morning. Hello, good morning. It is the next day and I have completed The Demon's Bargain by Katie Robert. I really enjoyed this. I do have issues with it though. So first off, this was an interesting experience. The sexy scenes were a fun time, did some different things, some new to me stuff. Overall though, I do think this is tame in terms of like monster romance. I think the reason why I feel like this, Dragon's Bride and Ice Planet Barbarians are all going to be relatively easy to digest in this world is because they're very humanoid, right? Like I could easily imagine, at least in this to just be a guy in a costume, you know? So I think that's a great intro to this sort of thing. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I love this. I love this. I love the characters. I love the dynamics. There was some insta-lovey feely type things going on because they like only knew each other for a short amount of time, but this is a novella, so it's kind of to be expected. I do wish this was a longer slow burn. I feel like these characters would have chef's kiss in that. But yeah, it was a good time. My big thing is I did get a little annoyed towards the end by some of the decisions the characters were making. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Now it's time for me to jump into one of these. I kind of want to do this one first because it is another tabletop TBR pick and because even though it's not part of the same series, it's in the same world as this one and these characters were mentioned, so I'm even more intrigued to see what their story is. So I think I'm gonna read this one next. I'll give you an update when I get into it. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. Okay, so started the second book. I really enjoyed this one. I'm really enjoying this one. So basically we have somebody who has needed to make a deal with the demon, get out of a not so great situation. And so this whole story is during the kind of like 7 years of the bargainer's deal versus the other story was mostly like before that. The deal's done. It's basically over. And then she ends up in another deal, which is her being the dragon's bride. And again, this is one of those situations where she's not forced to do anything, right? She's not forced to do anything. The only part of the deal is that she has to be open to seduction. And that's it, right? Doesn't have to do anything, but she must be open to allow them to try and seduce her. And so I love it. I love it, right? Because we have our steamy bits, but there's still tension and buildup, and there's still that kind of slow burn feeling that we're getting so far because these characters are in a situation that they're kind of like forced to be. Almost. Not exactly, but kind of. Like they both agreed to be in this situation, but you know, like it's kind of like that forced proximity situation, and even though they agreed upon it, there's that feeling. So things have ensued. Like we've gotten several sexy times. It was great. I enjoy this more. Like there's a thing about him and his things, yes, that, you know, like I'm learning things about myself. I knew that's what was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. And for some reason, I decided to take you guys along for the ride to find out this weird shit about myself. So yeah, I'm here for it more than I thought I would be. There are some things that are kind of, I don't know if off-putting is the right way to say it. Like, nothing really has happened where I was all like, oh yeah, whatever. So far, right? We haven't gotten into it. There's a thing that I think is gonna happen, which isn't my favorite thing, but I'm all like, in this scenario, it makes sense, and as long as they're into it, like, you do you, boo. But I guess because he has more of a dragon face or whatever, there's a couple of moments where I'm reminded of that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like that's awkward. Especially because like they kiss and, you know, I don't know, it's like mentioned kind of like before the you know, like awkwardness of them could take shape, you know, he kind of moves down and gets in the mood or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. But I do like the dynamic. I do like the characters. It's a lot more timid than the original characters in the other book. The other book, they're like strong characters versus these two. Not that they're not strong, because he is like a dragon dude, but she's very timid. She's gone through some unfortunate stuff, and there's building trust is a big part of this. You know, Katie Robert, you are good. You're good. It's also fun seeing one of the characters from the last book in this one, Romanu, the demon from the previous book, pops up here a couple of times. He's not part of the story. That's fun, knowing what I know now about that character. I'm liking this more than the other one, and I really liked the other one. This one, if it kind of continues in this vein, could end up being a 5 stars. Like, I'm loving this so far. Granted, again, things can change, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Another thing, I'm actually listening to the audiobook, and I realized that as I was able to hear the deep the deep voice of the male voice actor say the sexy things during the steamy times, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. That's something that I've always, and I mean, like, I love romance, so I've definitely have found myself in an awkward situation with some headphones in and some steamy times I wasn't expecting creeping in at a moment that's not the best moment to be listening to that kind of thing. I found myself in that situation a couple of times in my life. This is no different. Like, it's no different than just a regular romance that has steamy moments, that feeling, but it's still just funny because I'm like, oh yeah, let me record myself listening to the audiobook, you know, like it's in between the sexy times, and I'm just gonna like work on my tarot deck stuff because that's a project that I'm doing. And then as I'm sitting here doing that, I was all like, oh, I guess we're getting a bit steamy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I will let you know what I think when I finish it, because I'm here for it so far. Okay, so I finished it, 5 stars, loved it. I will say one thing that is annoying is that the audio had one more chapter than my book in the Kindle version does, and I really liked that chapter. But yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved the story. I loved the steamy bits. I loved the characters. I loved it. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. I thought I really loved the last one, and I did. I gave that one 4 stars. I did have some issues with this. This one, perfect. Perfect. So, on to the next one. Actually, I don't know. I think I might be taking a break. Work is gonna start pretty soon, so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna read next. I also got distracted with the tarot card stuff that I'm doing. I was supposed to be working basically on organizing everything and setting up the file that I'm going to be making all the thumbnails, and instead I started working on the back of the card, which I don't know if that's going to be it. This is just one option for the design. I was having a lot of fun with it, but I did start start transferring over the thumbnails that I've already done. Okay, so I started this one. Not sure what I think so far. I actually am doing the Audible 20-minute a day challenge to get 5 credits. So I am probably gonna put this on hold for a while. It's editing day for me, so I'm gonna be planning out videos, editing videos, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm probably not gonna be filming that much. I will read this a little bit every day for the next 5 days and then probably finish it up on Sunday, because why not? So I will give you periodical updates. So far, we have a cast of characters who have been abducted in their sleep by aliens and are trying to escape a ship when something goes wrong and they get kind of temporarily offloaded. And things happen. So our main character has been discovered by, I'm assuming, this guy. Interesting things. I will say I wasn't expecting. There is definitely trigger warnings for this that I just wasn't expecting. Everybody's like talking about this series like, oh my god, I'm surprised. Like, no one has really mentioned this shit that went down. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. Good morning. So today is Saturday and I actually accidentally finished Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. And so yeah, I've made a ton of progress. Admittedly, I'm not sure if I was to rank all of these books where this will go. I know this one is my favorite. Then this one comes somewhere after. And then I don't know if this comes before that or after it. I do like it, but I don't know. I don't know if I talked about this much because technically I was just listening to the Audible audiobook so that I can do the like 5 days in a row at the end of January to get $5 credit. So I was just trying to go at it a little bit at a time, 20 to 30 minutes a day, and then I finished it. I liked the characters. There was some insta feel things that were happening that, I don't know, I guess I didn't fully mind, but there were a couple of moments, especially towards the end, that I was like, eh, but I still enjoyed it. So that means we only have one left, and I think this one is going to be the weirdest. So far, I'm all for this. Like, Katie Robert, new best friend. Like, she's my girl. I'm definitely gonna be reading more books from her for sure. Really enjoyed the writing, had a great time, excited to read more. Not here for everything that happens, but I still enjoy it, right? Like, it was still fun to read. And now it is time for the weirdest one on the list. The most questionable one. This one also isn't a full-on story. I'm pretty sure, I think I mentioned this already, that it's 2 short stories and then a couple of snippets from the series. I don't imagine I'm going to continue this one. I really just got it for this cover. I don't think the rest of them have nice covers. And then also because it just seems crazy. Like, it seems like it would be a fun, crazy time. So these ones I'm like actually into. This I don't know if I will be, but we'll see. You know, like I was unsure. I admittedly was unsure. Again though, with all of these, the romance interests basically feel like, you know, regular guys with costumes on. This one is probably going to be the weirdest. It is true that you got a little bit of that from here because of his dragon face or whatever, but that was kind of skimmed over, glossed over, if we're being honest. It was just like, oh yes, blah, blah, blah. They kissed quickly and then he was, you know, down her neck. And I was like, okay, well, logistically, who cares? One more and we'll go. Already learned a lot. Okay, good morning. It is the last day of the vlog and I'm finally picking up Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer. And basically, so far, a couple pages into it, we have our main character who works on a farm. It's grueling work. She's beautiful and doesn't know it. And she sees the dinosaurs working and she dreams of becoming one so that she can escape the farm. Like, she doesn't like the farm life. I'm pretty sure this one's not gonna be for me because I'm already kind of like laughing when I don't think I'm supposed to be. We just got the introduction to the dinosaur and his feathered dew was coiffed in a sexy and hip honky tonk curl. His body reminded her of a living lake, the way one move would ripple his feathers. I don't know, it's too much. I guess we're gonna get to this, like, not trying to yuck anybody's yum. It's too much for me. I do realize my monster romance has to be, I guess that's not true, more humanoid. Like, there might be some exceptions to that, but I don't know, dinosaurs just ain't it for me. Says me, whose favorite book so far has been the one of a friggin' dragon, which is basically a dinosaur, but he was very humanoid. Although they did make note of there were some dragons that hadn't mated a bunch and, you know, humified themselves. And then the question came of, wait, if he is a byproduct of the mixture of the two, and originally they were all big dragon dudes, how did that work? It's like, that's a good question. They didn't answer it, but it was a funny little note to be had, a little thing to point out. And I was like, yep. I think they were like, you know, something about magic and it being unknown to them, but I was just like, that's hilarious. But yeah. We are finally going into the last book of the vlog, the most extreme, in my opinion. I still love the cover though. The cover is hilarious to me, which I'm sorry, but it is. So, yeah. Oh my god. Oh no. I forgot that this was part of the story. Oh god. As much as she hated her human life, she'd lived with her father for 18 years. Why is she only 18? And felt some sympathy for him as they ran together as one creature. Oh no. Okay. I don't know if I can do it. Oh, this one's the first one that's really making me kind of uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. His name is Big Al. Oh, I hate it. Okay. It was so beautiful to her. So simple. Tanis had never been naked in front of a man before. Never mind a man dinosaur. No. Okay. Okay. And Garrett, I want to tell you this phrase, but I can't. It has something to do with butter. Okay. Just no spoilers, but she's injured, and that's like coming into play in like a bizarre way. I don't know. No! No! None of that made sense. Okay, well, I think that story is done. No, apparently it's still going. Okay. Okay, so apparently dinosaur feathers have healing properties. And very early on, she gets injured. So things make even less sense, is basically what I'm getting at. If you guys could just, you know, slap some feathers on that bad boy and no issues. No friggin' issues. Yeah, I don't know. Landing face first onto the earth. This is supposed to be sexy. Okay. Well, that's so sweet. Anything but. This is the most bizarre thing I think I've ever read. It's like not romantic in any way. It's not sexy, it's not romantic, it's very awkward. Like, okay, admittedly, I knew that. I knew that going in, so it is doing what I expected, but like, I'm still confused. Why are there like coloring pages randomly throughout? I don't know. Okay, so that was it for the first one. Poor girl. Okay, I am questioning my sanity at this point. Okay, so next story. Guy goes to the zoo to see a new exotic creature that has been brought in, only to find out that it is a Ankylosaurus. And his thoughts, was this the strong woman he had been searching for his entire life? No, it's a fucking dinosaur. What is wrong with you? What have I gotten myself into? What am I reading? Oh my god. I can't. If this wasn't so short. Oh no, okay. Okay, so I'm done. I just finished this one. Admittedly, I cheated. I read the entire 2 story bits that they had in here. I don't think it was the entire story, especially for the second one. It left on a cliffhanger. And then I skimmed through all of the random, like, sex scripts, they called them, whatever that they had. It's not my thing. Don't like the writing, not interested in the pairing or the type of stuff that we have here. It's not for me, okay? I had a feeling it wouldn't be. It's too animalistic. It was an experience, that's all I can say for this one. I liked these. All of these were my thing. Enjoyed all of them, had a great time. There were issues. These were actual romance in addition to, you know, whatever. And the characters themselves were super humanoid with, you know, like mild things that made them monstrous and fun. I loved it. This was just weird. So that is my experience. Learned a lot about myself. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to thumbs up, include, oh god, include, I think there's a little demon. Include a demon emoji, or, you know, like, yeah, a little, like, demon emoji down below if you made it this far. And I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye!